Example 2, we're solving a triangle. So I'm going to start by drawing the triangle. Angle A is 42.3 degrees, side B is 12.9 meters, and side C is 15.4 meters. So when I look at this triangle, I identify that I'm looking at a side, angle, side. And side, angle, side tells me that this is case 3, and I know that's the law of cosines formula. Okay? So where do I start? I'm going to establish a partnership with this angle and find the side across from that angle, and that's side A. So if you're looking at your formula, A squared would equal B squared plus C squared minus 2BC times cosine A. So then let's plug in. B is 12.9, C is 15.4, and angle A was 42.3 degrees. So one of the biggest obstacles is, can you type that into your calculator? So let's all practice. Let's type that in and see if we can come up with the right number here. Make sure we're in degrees. Did you get about 109.7? So that's not the answer, because we're still going to have to take the square root in order to find A. Normally we would do the plus or minus square root, but we know since we're talking about the side length of a triangle, it's not going to be the negative square root. Also, I wrote down 109.7, but my answer is actually 109.6997733, and so on. So I'm going to leave that number in the calculator and just use that number, square root of that number in the calculator, about 10.5. So now I'll round off. A is about 10.5 meters. Now, we're solving the triangle, so that means we have to find all of the missing parts. Right now I just found this side, but I still need to find these two angles. Okay? Now, you have your choice. At this point, you could either find angle B or you could find angle C. And it makes a difference which one you choose. Okay? What we want to do, you're going to have to trust me on this for a second, but what we want to do is pick the smaller of the two angles. Okay? So look at angle B and look at angle C and tell me which one's smaller of those two. Angle B. Okay? Angle B, you can tell because angle B is across from 12.9, angle C is across from 15.4. You can tell that the largest angle is across from the largest side. So I want to find the smaller of those remaining angles. I'm finding angle B. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back and use the law of sines in order to pick that up. Okay? The key for that is, again, this relationship between angle and side. We're going to say sine of angle B over 12.9 is equal to, and we already have a partnership established over here with A. We'll do sine of 42.3 degrees over 10.5. So we had to go back and use the law of sines formula. We're going to do what we did in 8.1. Either think of it as cross multiplication or multiplying both sides by 12.9, but we're trying to isolate B. We would have sine B equals 12.9 times sine 42.3 divided by 10.5. Sine B is equal to that. 0.8268. 0.8268. And so we're going to do an inverse sine. Inverse sine to isolate B. Inverse sine of that number on my calculator is about 55.8. Okay, now here's kind of the tricky thing. Once we do this once, we won't have to do it again, but I need to explain it first. That 55.8 is the reference angle where sine is positive. So we've done this a number of times. It's kind of tricky. Sometimes we forget. But that's really, the answer to that equation is really two different angles. And so we would do a 55.8 where sine is positive is going to either be in the first or the second quadrant. Now look at the second one. The second angle is going to be 180 minus 55.8, 124.2. Okay? So what we have at this point, B either equals 55.8 degrees or B equals 124.2 degrees. Okay? But 124.2, if that were in a triangle, if you had an angle of 124 in a triangle, that's going to have to be the biggest angle in a triangle. Does that make sense? Do you agree with that? Yeah. It can't be anything bigger than 124. But remember the decision that we made earlier? We specifically chose to find angle B because it was not the biggest angle in the triangle. Okay? And so there's this contradiction, meaning that this can't possibly work. That angle B can't be the biggest angle in the triangle because we chose it that way. We chose it that way. And so we don't even really, when we're doing law of cosines, we won't even really need to look at that second one because that's never going to work. That's never going to be the case. And so here we are. We've got angle B is equal to 55.8 degrees. Angle B is equal to 55.8 degrees. The only thing I don't have yet is angle C. That's going to be pretty easy to figure out because I can just subtract from 180. Subtract off angle A and subtract off angle B. Is anybody ahead of me? 108.9? 81.9? 81.9 degrees. So solve the triangle. We needed to find the missing parts. There they are. Now down at the bottom it says caution. If we had chosen angle to find angle C instead of angle B, we would have a big problem because angle C was the biggest angle in the triangle, and so angle C could have been that 124. We wouldn't have known. We wouldn't have known whether to use the 55.8 or the 124.2. And so that's why it's going to be so important for us to pick the smallest remaining angle when we're doing our law of sines in this one.